Our next honoree served in a variety of different roles in news departments across the country before coming to my home station, KRQE, in Albuquerque, where he is currently general manager. He leads our station with grace, and he has always remembered lessons from early in his career, focused on our community, supporting and encouraging individuals like myself and the various talents we have under our roof. Mr. Bill Anderson.
If you ask someone for business advice and personal relationship advice, would you expect this answer?
Proverbs. A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. There's something more valuable about a person's word, their reputation, than great riches. It's extremely biblical to want to be a truth teller. It also happens to be a thing that drives business. To have a reputation for pursuing the truth. I think the truth is valued by everybody, and it's in short supply.
Words to live by from New Mexico's own Bill Anderson. Bill started as a production intern in television in 1979 and has been the president, station manager, GM, and director of production and more for many companies over the years. His career as a broadcast TV general manager fired off with his success in creating Flood Aid, broadcast across America in 1993. Flood Aid would end up raising $8.5 million in one night, and Bill would earn an Emmy from it too. Today, he's the VP and general manager of the KRQE Media Group, a company he's been with for over 20 years.
Bill is a great leader. He's a great mentor. He is the best. I've been working for Bill over 20 years, and he is always pushing us to do better than yesterday.
Bill is a living example of how someone so accomplished and powerful can embody a kind of selfless dedication to something bigger than himself, be that business or promoting the well-being of others. He believes real power comes from trying to do the right thing, and Bill plans on how his coworkers will be able to carry on the vision they have at KRQE even after he is gone. He gets energized by the thought and privilege for someone to say, "I will work for you." There's an exchange of a promise that if all goes well, I'm going to give you half my life, in a day, in a week, in a career, and for that, I want you to fight for me. He asks his employees,
Where do you want to go with us? And don't be afraid to say, not here.
Bill tells every new employee,
When we're done working together, whatever that means, whenever that is, if you are so good that I can't hang on to you because either I can't afford you or I can't put you in a position equal to your talent, then I'll feel like I did what I said we would do.
success is succession. What's amazing about Bill and the legacy he has built at KRQE is the kind of discipline he has toward doing the right thing for the right reason, and not for fame or wealth or ego.
I've known Bill Anderson for a good 18 years now. So what is the secret to Bill Anderson's success? Well, he's a master at simply balancing the business side of a television operation with a strong commitment to quality journalism and community service. Add to that caring, compassion, visionary, strategic, fair. Bill Anderson's vision for KRQE goes far beyond the nuts and bolts of simply running a successful television operation.
Thank you, Bill, for the years of faithful service and being an inspiration to all of us who have the pleasure of working with you. Congratulations.
Well, that was very nice. I really appreciate that. This means a great deal to me. Usually, if I'm standing in front of a camera, something has gone terribly wrong. So, thanks for giving me the night off. I'm just going to cut to the part where I turn the attention away from me for a second. I am, if anything, a composite, an investment that other people made, and it's manifest in whatever you see in me, but it's the result of really generous and caring people that have invested in me. So I'm going to mention their names, and that's the most important thing I want to do, and then get back to having dinner. And it's important because, as I mentioned these names, each one of these people, it's not just that I'm grateful, but they did something unique and special, and I've taken it, and I so much want to embody that. So listen to what I say about them. I was hired by a guy named Lyle Schulze, who right now is fighting hurricanes as the GM at WIS in Charlotte. Lyle hired me as a production intern. I'm forever grateful for internship programs. I like interns. What a great way to bring people into the business. I became a manager for the first time for a guy named Phil Stolz. You may know him. He went on to have a great career with Hearst Television, but I was with Phil at his first GM job when he was figuring it out. This is a guy in a $1,500 suit who had the humility to tell a chief engineer, "You're amazing. I have no idea what you do or how you do that, but you're keeping us on the air tonight." And I saw humility and the ability to appreciate managers. I was made a GM for the first time by a guy named Mike Bach. I wasn't owed a GM job. I'm not sure I even had earned one yet. I was handed one by a guy who cared about me. And then he went on and did everything he could to make sure that I was teed up for success. I love that about Mike, and I've tried to be that guy to anybody I've had any responsibility managing since. Then a friend of mine we were all fighting to be GMs, and the first colleague of mine that got to be one, I traveled with him. Me and my buddy Mike Moran worked for Kevin LaRue, and Kevin LaRue was good about sharing his professional ascent and journey with Mike and I, and I learned how to share that experience, my success with other people. And Rich Herbst. Rich was the last GM I worked for before I came one myself. Rich is simply one of the kindest and most gentle and generous men I've ever worked with in business, and I miss Rich terribly. Then Colleen Brown. Some of you know her, Colleen. She hired me in Albuquerque. I'm forever grateful to her for uniting me with this KRQE family of mine, which is so precious to me. And Randy Bongarten, who had come up in conversations with a number of us. Randy, probably the most important professional influence in my life and our industry, if you know anything about Randy Bongarten. Working for Randy was a crash course in strategy, process, and execution. And if you've worked for Randy Bongarten, then you've been schooled. And if you're still stupid, it's your own fault. Randy was tough and really wise. And then Jim Willey, the famous AR&D, brilliant consultant. Jim was really important to us in Albuquerque. He taught us to listen for the rhythm of the market and then write music that the market could dance to use an analogy. Scott Blumenthal and Lynn Media. Love Scott. Lynn represents some golden years for me in the business. I really loved working for them, and they added to our portfolio of stations I'm so proud to manage. Media General, short chapter in my career, Stan Knott. A really sweet guy who demonstrates humor and humility and an appreciation for people. I so much appreciate Stan Knott. And that really brings me to Nexstar, probably the biggest surprise in my career. Great company. I'm so proud to work for Nexstar. Perry Sook has created something really remarkable, which is doing big in a small way, super localism. And I work for Matt Rosenfeld, who couldn't be here tonight, but what a great champion I have at my back. And of course, the point of all this is the person that I do this for is sitting over there, my sweet and beautiful and talented wife, Debbie. Debbie and I met in a TV production class in college, the same class that made me a TV intern. 44 years later, we were writing scripts back then. We're still writing a script. We're in it, and you're a part of it tonight. Debbie, I'm pretty sure I took a couple of your ideas and claimed credit for them. I'm sorry about that. I'm really appreciative of all this. Trust me when I tell you this, I know that this award says much more about you than it does about me. This is an evening to recognize things that matter. And we're in a business that gets derided and attacked, but it's an important business. It's vital to our communities. I love it that we're celebrating longevity. And so to the extent that, speaking of longevity, I think I'm getting wrapped over here. To the extent that, that NATAS honors this and these values, I support it, I applaud it, and I'm so proud to be a part of the Silver Circle. Thank you for putting me in here.